ever a third party that shows can be said.
Hello viewers, welcome back to Talk Your Own, and it's been beautiful here in the studio because Ansah has been on fire, and so what shall we do? And so let me adjust a little bit because more bomb is coming, right? I just got right here in the studio. I promised you that the music maestro himself and the music educator, the great artist that has been, a voice in this nation and beyond, is right here with us in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Carlos Morgan.
Yes.
How are you, my brother?
Good, man.
I wish my hand is long. I'm trying. Good. Yeah. I have a long hand there. So.
I can reach you, man.
Oh, yes, it's also long, right? All right. Nice having you, Morgan. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Good, man. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Oh, wow. That's nice. Looking good as usual.
Thank you. I'm trying.
When I grow up, some of these things will look like that.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, Morgan, we want to talk about advancing social justice.
Yes.
How long have you been in Canada?
I was actually born here.
My God.
Yeah, born here. My parents are from Jamaica, but I'm first generation Canadian to my family.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Born and raised here.
You faced any prejudice in any way?
Oh, man, I have countless stories of prejudice, but more so racism, anti-black racism, discrimination, bigotry, and being in the music industry in this country, it's prejudice and anti-black racism, discrimination is very, very prevalent in this country, and especially in the music industry, the entertainment industry overall.
I was thinking it's a thing of the past.
Oh no, it's not. It's still very much alive, unfortunately.
So what's the experience in the music industry?
Well, for example, I've always felt that black musicians, no matter what part of the diaspora that the black community is from, black music in Canada has not been received, has not been accepted, because they've not ever signed, or rarely have signed, a black musician to major record labels in Canada. They'll sign a white artist doing black music, but they won't sign a black artist doing black music. And they have many reasons as to why they feel that black music in Canada will not succeed, or it won't be accepted, which I find mostly to be an excuse, because I always say if American black music can have success in Canada, then why can't Canadians, black Canadians, or black people from other aspects of the world or other parts of the world who have immigrated to Canada and made Canada their home, have success in Canada? I know many people who were born and raised in Jamaica come to Canada to pursue a career in music doing reggae. Doesn't go anywhere. I've known African artists who come to Canada looking for opportunities to have success in Canada and get turned down. So no matter what genre of black music, whether it's R&B, jazz, gospel, not so much hip-hop. Hip-hop took a little bit, but hip-hop is the one genre of music in Canada that Canada has allowed to get success.
What's the most acceptable genre of music in Canada?
The most acceptable genre of music in Canada?
Yeah.
I would say rock, country, and pop. White. Yeah, white. Country, rock, pop.
What do you think is the way out?
What is the way out?
Yeah.
Well, I've been saying for the majority of my career that the black community we should have created our own musical infrastructure. We should have created our own industry, because the dominant culture, the white culture, white supremacy in the music industry have not allowed it. We don't have our own radio stations. We don't have our own promotional or marketing promotional firms, TV shows, nothing like that. In the 90s, during the 90s, there was a slight shift, and I was a part of that shift. But that shift happened, lasted for maybe 7 to 10 years. And then it's gone back to what it was before the mid-90s, and it's even worse now. So I think if there is supposed to be any kind of shift, that it should be the black community unifying and creating our own infrastructure, our own industry. But that is a whole other issue as to why we've not gotten that far ahead. We've not excelled, we've not come together. Because I've always said, and Emma and I have this conversation a lot, that even in the music industry, there's many people in the black community and the black music community that wants to align themselves with the white music industry, and that's my personal opinion.
Okay, Emma, I don't know you to be a musician, so I don't know you. I might be wrong, right? Okay, but with the way you're shaking your head, it means that I'm right.
Yeah, I'm definitely no. That wasn't my gift.
Yeah.
It wasn't your gift.
No.
Okay, your gift is to talk, right?
Yes. That's what I use my vocal cords for.
Exactly.
Another thing. So now, tell us, since you have the gift to talk, tell us this. What policies can government implement to address systemic racism and discrimination?
Well, I mean, they've tried, right? The ones that they try to implement is this DEI. We're going to, have this diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we're going to put it in all the schools, and then we're going to have people come in and train them how to teach. You cannot teach racism out of a racist. I am dead set against it. I don't think it's productive at all. But as far as what policies, well, we can start with, like I said, legislation, like an anti-black law or an anti-black bill.
Who pushes that?
The government. We would expect the government to. Right now, we have a government that is not willing to or interested in implementing that.
True.
Carlos. Yes. Now, how can education systems promote social justice, awareness, and activism?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
How can education systems promote social justice, awareness, and activism?
That's a good question. Well, I think to slightly echo what Emma is saying, like the government, that they attempt or try to or give off this, what I feel is an illusion of trying to advance any kind of anti-black legislation. Education, or the education system, they follow the same mandate, if you will, which is not really a mandate. They will say the same thing, well, we want to have diversity, equity, and inclusion in our education, we want to create programs that will positively impact people of racialized communities or marginalized communities. But there's only certain marginalized communities that get promoted or supported. When it comes to predominantly the black community, and something that I'll just interject quickly, Emma and I went to an organization last year.
Town hall.
Town hall, thank you. Went to a town hall last year here in Brampton, where a group of black Catholic students were discussing the anti-black racism that they face in school by both students and faculty. So the question you're asking is, what can education do, or what can the
educational systems
do? Thank you. What the educational systems can do. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but again, this conversation or the question you asked is the same question I was asking when I was in high school in the 80s. What can education do to address anti-black racism? Why, for example, are black students not learning more about black history in school outside of February? So why is it that when, black students talk about the issues of racism and bullying that they face, they're being pushed aside, but other groups can say we're facing these issues and the education system will listen to them. So again, I don't have much faith in the education system to address the anti-black racism or discrimination and bigotry, because this is something that's been going on for years. Again, so my answer to your question is, again, we create our own schools. Black people, we should have our own schools, because when we're sending our children to school, not only are they facing anti-black racism through what they're learning in schools, part of the anti-black racism that they're learning is they're not learning anything about black history, be it in whatever aspect of black history, be it through science, math, arts, English, geography, history. We're learning nothing. So if we're going to address the issue of lack of equality, equality in schools, is that, what? I always say this, okay, y'all can have your schools, but our children, our young people, the next generation or generations that are coming forth, we as the adults, or we as educators, we who are passionate about education and educating our children, we need to figure out a way, how do we address this issue? And I feel it's through saying we need to create our own schools.
Emma, talking about social movements, is there any role that social movements can play in the place of equality, in the place of human rights?
Is there any role?
Yeah, that social movements can play.
I mean, we have Black Lives. We have the Black Lives Matter movement, right? We need more like that. But movements that are actually authentically really advocating for our people. So as it relates to Black Lives Matter movement, there have been some controversies, there have been some things that have happened that have not been handled with integrity. That's a whole other segment, okay? But I'm just saying, as far as that goes, we need more communities. And like I was telling you earlier, if we had summits where we had black lawyers, we had black accountants, we had black educators and of different demographics, elders, younger people, and if we were able to pool that together and really build, because there's no reason why we don't have the same infrastructures like schools, banks, hospitals, that other races of people have, right? Like I was telling you about Tulsa and Africville. There's no reason why we don't have that. So what we need are committees like that have a demographic of different people, different walks and different talents to pull together, and we can build.
In the first segment, Emma said something that the black also need to rise to the occasion. That if I could actually denote anything from what she said, is also, I have actually taken the fact that the black also happen to be their own.
Absolutely.
We're in our own way.
So it's like you're of that school of thought as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
If that's the case, so how can allyship, more like, allyship, how can that and solidarity support marginalized communities?
So you're talking allies within the community or allies with outside the community?
Within
the community?
Yes.
Okay, well, I believe that if we're going to have allies...
If without is also a solution, why not, right?
Okay.
So how could that allyship and solidarity
if we're going to have
support?
Well, in my opinion, if we're going to have allies and solidarity within our community, it starts with the mind. And many people I find within our community are still enslaved.
You said so, right?
Impoverished and imprisoned.
Yeah.
It's like the song that Bob Marley says. He says, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery," in the song Redemption Song. Emancipate yourself.
I was trying to say, I wanted to sing that. Don't say
Right?
it.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Right? We need to do that. We
Yeah.
need to break the system.
I didn't know you would stop.
You know?
Go ahead.
Right? We need to break the system of slavery that we're still in chains, right? So that I feel is the allyship and the solidarity we can have within our community, with communities outside of us as a people. I don't trust it. I don't trust that we will have allies outside of our community that would be like, I want to stand with black people and see us succeed. If there are, it's a very minute group of people that are outside of the black community that will walk with us and want to see us, have equality along with them and everybody else.
Okay. Emma, now, how can media representation, how can that impact social justice narratives and the outcomes?
Well, being somebody that's in media through exposure.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, by exposing it. That's the first order of business, is exposing it. And that helps. So when, for example, if I'm exposing a social injustice situation that happens with our people, by doing that, it ends up going viral. The company is now put on blast. Because now I'm saying this organization has committed this injustice to this black person or this black group or whatever. And by doing that, right now we live in a society where reviews, ratings, cancel culture, it's all a thing now. So a company can be very successful, and doing that and being exposed to it by millions affects their bottom line. Right, affects their bottom dollar. Mm-hmm. So that, I feel like, is the media's responsibility, especially black media, by exposure. Because trust me, these companies live off of, well, the customer, right? And so they don't want to have that out there, that they are responsible for, or their employees are responsible for this kind of injustice towards black people.
But if I can add to that, to what Emma just said, also, and I hear Emma say this a lot about, she doesn't like to focus always on black trauma. Mm-hmm. So showing the other side too, showing like, hey, we have people in our community from the black diaspora, whether it's from the continent of Africa or the Caribbean or North America, wherever we are in the world. We are doing so many positive things. Yeah. We've done, and we are continuing to do so many positive things to highlight us as a people, because we see all the time on the news how there's so much negative portrayals of us as a people, and the media likes so much. I feel they get so much success from seeing us in pain and in trauma, and seeing us being, brutalized by the police, or we're brutalizing each other, or we have these culture wars between black men and black women, or the way our youth, our young kids are just, there's no stability in our community. So showing that, okay, we're going to show things that are happening to us, that's happening to us, and what we're doing to ourselves. We're going to show that, and we're going to show the negative part, but then we're also going to show the positive sides.
Yeah, so it's a balance, which is why I love to use my platform to showcase black businesses, black business
excellence.
owners, black excellence, black power. So I have the balance between the two to say, yes, this is happening, but that doesn't affect, we don't need to carry that heavy attachment to those negative things that happen. We can be the difference. We can be the change. So then I'm showing, hey, but look what we're also doing here.
On a final note, so I want you to just look at the camera and say something to close this discourse on strengthening community bond and social justice.
Well, I will say to the Black community, we are so capable, we are able, we are intelligent, we are powerful, our voices are loud. We just have to get out of that slave mentality and say to ourselves, we as a community can do it. We have to be able to share our resources, share our talents, and not say, I worked hard, I got here, I can't help you. So the first thing we have to do is be willing to share. And then once we're able to share, like other communities do, they build together, they grow together, and they continue along to their children and their children's children and their children's children's children, and they create generational wealth. We are more than capable of doing that. That is what I empower us to do as a community.
In 1 minute, Max, can I still hear you look at the camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
And say the same thing?
Yeah.
Well, first, what I want to say is, as a diaspora, whether we're from the continent of Africa or the Caribbean, or we're North America, South America, wherever we are in the world, that we are one people, right? And I know that through whatever means, media or whatever thoughts we have about ourselves, but there's dissension amongst us. But to, again, echo what Emma said, that if we can come together and show the world that we are a force, and the world knows we are a force, that's why they're so afraid of us. But we need to know we are a force, and we need to love each other, come together, support each other, build each other, and come together as a people, because we are the original man and we are God's chosen people. We are number one to God. Amen.
On Talk Your Own, we share the way it is, right? And I'm actually thrilled having this gentleman and lady here with me today. And let me leave the other part, but to just say thank you for coming, Emma.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you, brother.
All right, it's been a great time with you guys.
You too, man.
So, you share your opinion and your view. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, that's our show for today. I look forward to see you again some other time. And I'm sure, I hope I'm going to bring them back to the studio.
Yes.
Very,
We were
very
happy
soon.
to
Very,
come
very
back.
soon.
Yeah.
See you guys.
This Bill's FM third party that shows.
The church where you are.
Yes, can be said.